Dynasty's over. We did what we had to do. Doesn't mean, it's not about what it means. You know what it means. You can turn your cameras up to the screen and know what it means. We did this.
Now, when it comes to Drake, Young Thug, everybody he begged forgiveness from in that wild apology, and Kendrick Lamar, get the tissues ready, because today we're talking about some of the softest rappers in the game. After one of the biggest public meltdowns hip-hop has seen in years, with multiple careers hanging by a thread, Drake and Young Thug shockingly patched things up and fired back at the mountain of pressure Kendrick Lamar has been stacking against them. This isn't just about rap beef, it's about the collapse of an entire soft rapper alliance. And Kendrick seems to be leading the charge to burn it all down.
This is JagMe at the Kendrick Lamar and SZA concert in Toronto, Canada at Rogers Centre Stadium. So who's JagMe Singh? JagMe is a Canadian former politician who served as the leader of the New Democratic Party from 2017 to 2018.
Every single like and comment on this story proves that no matter how much Drake and Thug try to hold it together, Kendrick and his camp are cracking their foundation piece by piece. The party might be over, and the fallout has already started shaking the culture. So what exactly triggered this gigantic mess? It all kicked off when Young Thug tried to clean up his messy reputation. After weeks of leaked phone calls exposing him, dissing just about everyone in the industry, instead of letting things spiral even worse or dropping more statements that had people questioning if he even knew what he was saying, he stunned the world with an apology. He said sorry to Drake, to Future, and to a whole list of others he burned in the past. But here's where it gets interesting. He left some very noticeable names off that apology list. That silence says way more than the words he put out. It shows us the real game plan might already be in motion behind the scenes. And trust me, it's looking scandalous. Lil Baby hinting at retirement, Drake spiraling out of control, and the rest of the crew just crying. It's chaos everywhere. Young Thug looks like he's making one last desperate attempt to rescue himself in Drake's collapsing side of hip-hop, but the walls are caving in fast. And when you actually break down the music video for Thug's new track, the drama gets even crazier. Drake literally handed him footage to use in the video, which shows that Drake not only knew about the apology ahead of time, but may have been in on the whole move from the start. That changes everything.
You telling me that he only listened to the SZA parts and only jammed out to the SZA parts? I wonder if there's gonna be some video evidence that proves that he's full of shit.
So let's not waste time. Kendrick Lamar's warnings about the party coming to an end are looking more like a prophecy by the day. And now we've got to dive into the monster at the center of it all. Young Thug's 7-minute apology track, Man, I Miss My Dogs. This isn't just a song, it's practically a public confession. He sends apologies to Drake, Future, Lil Baby, Gucci Mane, his family, Mariah the Scientist, and a handful of others he burned. It's a laundry list of regret. Quick side note, why do rappers keep naming songs about dogs lately? If I had a nickel for every time one dropped this month, I'd already be stacking a mini fortune. But jokes aside, at least Thug put this mess into music form instead of going off in another embarrassing social media rant. By turning his apology into a track, Thug proves he's at least one step above the rants we've seen from Trash and even Lil Baby lately. That might not sound like much when the bar is sitting this low, but in today's hip-hop climate, even crawling clears it. Still, the real question is, does putting regrets into a song actually save him? Or is this just another failed attempt to dodge the fire closing in? By refusing to take back his words toward Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, or even Andre 3000 of all people, Young Thug is showing us exactly where his real targets are and where his loyalty still lies. This track isn't just about cleaning up his image. It feels like a calculated move to line himself up with the right people for something much bigger coming down the pipeline. And if the whispers are true, we might find out what that bigger plan is very soon. Specifically, all signs are pointing to September 19th, where the chaos comes full circle. And guess who slides back into the spotlight? None other than the insufferable, unavoidable, and endlessly overhyped Ice Spice situation. Only this time, the apology goes to him first. That's right, the very first name cleared in this record is Ice Spice. And Young Thug lays it out for Drake in the most baffling way. Drizzy, you my brother, you know I ain't going against you. I got manners. I hate this side of hip-hop, man. Everything you did for the rap community can't ban you. Never diss. You came to visit me at Cobb County like my kin do. Forget the jail call. You know the other calls we had. I mean, come on. This is what passes for rap writing now? It's like reading text messages instead of actual bars. But that's not even the whole picture. Thug doubles down by trying to mend fences with Drake's closest allies, Metro Boomin and Future. He raps about wanting to get Metro and Pluto on the same page, and even throws shade at the internet saying, the internet don't know about it because real don't say, real do. And I learned that from you. It's all meant to sound loyal, but let's be honest, it reeks of desperation.
Turn the TV off, turn the TV off. So, it probably wasn't loyalty. The reason why he probably apologized was because y'all probably in his DMs threatening him and getting all mad at him because Drake posted it to his story with his millions of followers, and you guys don't know how to be regular fans. You don't know how to take an L gracefully, so you're gonna sit there and get mad at anybody that shows love to anybody that's Drake's ops. But Drake has a long list of ops.
Instead of setting the tone, Thug looks like he's begging his way back into circles that may not even want him anymore. What a cringe bar. And honestly, what a humiliating way to butter up Drake. But let's keep it moving, because the mess only gets deeper. Thug raps, we had our own differences, but Cash came through and got us on the phone. He's clearly talking about Cash XO, but the whole thing sounds confusing, especially when he adds lines like, why you and Cash beefing? He got us on the phone, he pulled up to my home. Ever since y'all differences, it never passed dawn, it darkness every day. Then he tries to clean up with Metro, rapping, I called Metro on the phone and told him let it go. You can ask him what I say, brother. Some of y'all biggest hits together. The chemistry been there? I don't care about what they say. It's supposed to sound deep, but it reads more like awkward fan fiction than a real verse. Now let's keep it real. We all heard that leaked call where Thug trashed Drake, calling him stupid, insensitive, and basically a terrible person when it comes to basic empathy. But here, he's crawling back with apologies, begging for a reunion like nothing ever happened. The desperation is dripping off every line. And notice the order. Young Thug puts his apology to Drake right after the one for Mariah the Scientist, who just happens to be his girlfriend. That's no coincidence. It's a signal that Thug is trying to repair Drake's personal and professional trust all at once. The way this plays out, it doesn't even feel like Thug's own move. It feels like Drake's camp approved the whole thing. The apology track looks less like closure and more like damage control to keep Drake's empire from crumbling in front of Kendrick's shadow. Let's be real, this whole thing was planned out behind the scenes. There's no way Drake didn't hear this track beforehand, and the proof is sitting right there in the video. We're talking about never-before-seen footage of Drake on FaceTime with Amir. That clip alone tells us everything. We know Thug was in contact with Drake, and you don't get footage like that without explaining, hey, I'm dropping an apology track. So why is Thug trying to spin this like Drake just found out after the fact? Even Drake's camp is pushing that same surprise narrative, but come on. Nobody's buying it. This was rehearsed, polished, and greenlit long before the public ever heard a word of it. Then there's Metro Boomin. Thug admits Metro didn't want to squash his beef with Drake. And honestly, respect to Metro for standing on principle. At least one of these guys refuses to fold when the pressure hits. Meanwhile, Thug is bending over backwards, positioning his apologies carefully, pouring way more energy into mending fences with Drake than anyone else. That speaks volumes. And then he casually drops that Lil Baby won't even answer his calls anymore and throws in some half-hearted talk about Future. That's another key piece. But let's be real, until Future responds, it's just empty words floating in the air. The rest? A distraction. Unless you're fascinated by Thug and Mariah the Scientist's relationship drama, the only storyline that matters here is Drake. And what does Drake do in return? He doesn't drop a statement. He doesn't go public. He simply likes a post with the letter of Thug's lyrics almost instantly. Subtle, but loaded with meaning. That quick reaction shows Drake isn't just aware. He's part of the whole orchestration. Sure, Drake once patched things up with J. Cole after Port Antonio dropped, but this situation feels completely different.
According to sources, Drake's camp tried to get Kendrick Lamar's shows at Rogers Center Stadium in Toronto either canceled or postponed so they can do OVO Fest there.
Drake and Young Thug have been tied closer than most. Songs together, constant shoutouts from 100 gigs to SSS for you. Drake has hyped Thug's name over and over again, so this new makeup moment carries way more weight. Put all the pieces together, the leaked call, the apology track, the FaceTime clip, and it looks like Drake's way of signaling forgiveness. He's putting their differences to rest, not because he wants to, but because he needs to. Drake's career is slipping fast, and in the mess he's in right now, if another rapper actually wants to link up in the studio, he can't afford to say no. That's survival mode. And the timing couldn't be clearer. Young Thug is officially in rollout mode. He just announced that his long-awaited album is dropping next week, and this apology track feels like the opening chess move. The strategy is obvious. Clean house, rebuild bridges, and line up features before the record lands. But here's the catch. Everything is still a mess. We don't know which features will actually clear, who's handling production, or if certain beats are even going to make the cut. The drama with Drake makes every piece of this rollout unstable. One wrong move, and the whole plan crumbles. The only real certainty is 21 Savage. He stood firm with Drake through all the chaos, and by extension, looks like he'll ride with Thug too. That gives Thug at least a small crew to roll with. But let's be real, it's nowhere near enough to hold off the storm that's brewing. Here's the thing. This is do or die for both Drake and Young Thug. Just like Drake's disastrous Iceman record, their crash-outs and bad decisions have dragged their legacies into the mud. Their names don't carry the same weight anymore, and it's their own stupidity that put them here. This next move is make or break, and it looks like they're about to throw everything they have left into one desperate collab. Behind the scenes, you can practically see the chessboard being set. Drake and Thug are clearly lining up a joint record, betting whatever scraps remain of their washed-up careers on one last hit. They don't care about longevity anymore. They just need one single song to spin the narrative back in their favor, even if it's only temporary. But the apology track itself exposed even more drama. Thug claimed he missed Gunna, but then turned around and dissed him again, straight up calling him a rat. That little jab wasn't even about Gunna. It was clearly aimed at smoothing things over with Lil Baby, who still wants nothing to do with Thug. That's another messy chapter in this saga. Still, the bigger spotlight isn't on Gunna. It's on the people Thug refused to apologize to. Out of everyone he mentioned, he pointedly avoided taking back shots at J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Andre 3000. And that silence is loud. Think about it. Andre 3000 isn't just any artist. He's a living legend, one of the greatest to ever touch a mic, and the undisputed godfather of Atlanta hip-hop. There would literally be no Atlanta rap scene without Andre. For Thug to diss him at all is insane, but to leave that diss standing in an apology track, that's beyond disrespect. It's career suicide. This is why this corner of hip-hop feels so toxic right now. In past eras, going at an icon like Andre would have ended your career overnight. Now, it's just another stunt in a desperate fight to stay relevant. Only the worst kind of rappers would ever disrespect the pioneers, the legends who built the culture. And let's be real, Andre 3000 is probably off somewhere peacefully playing the flute, staying far away from this circus.
Now, according to sources, attempts by Drake's camp to have both tour shows canceled or postponed allegedly took place in hopes of booking OVO Fest. However, by then paperwork with the Rogers Center had already been filed, and no other venue in the city could hold the same capacity.
That's exactly why he walked away from the rap industry in the first place, to avoid messy, immature nonsense like this. Andre is too grown, too wise, and way too respected to even bother responding. But here's the wild part. With Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, Young Thug clearly made a choice. He doubled down on Drake and basically vowed loyalty to him, even if it meant shutting the door on the other two members of the so-called Big Three. That's a dangerous move. Think about it. Kendrick was somebody Thug once begged for a feature, a rapper he openly admired. Don't forget, When Thug was trading shots with French Montana online, he even admitted Kendrick had way more hits. And then there's Cole. This man executive produced Thug's most successful album, jumped on one of his biggest hits ever, The London, and even brought him out on a massive arena tour during the KOD era. That's a resume of support that most artists could only dream of. And now, Thug has nothing to say to either Kendrick or Cole. No apology, no acknowledgement, just silence. And that silence screams louder than any diss. It shows two things. First, Thug is standing firm on his disrespect. He's not taking those shots back. Strange move, but it's intentional. Second, he's making it crystal clear where his energy lies. Instead of aligning with lyrical giants like Kendrick and Cole, he's throwing himself fully into Drake's corner and linking up with the rappers who reject lyricism altogether. Lil Baby once called Kendrick and Cole that other side of hip-hop, the ones who make music for people who actually listen. By turning on them, Thug is betting everything on the side that doesn't care about bars, doesn't care about depth, and thrives off vibes alone. It's less about art, more about survival, and it's a risky game. For years now, hip-hop has been slipping into the dullest, stalest era we've ever seen, maybe the worst in the genre's entire history. And what Young Thug is doing right now only drags it down further. His choices feel like a direct attack on the very soul of hip-hop, stripping away its forward-thinking spirit and spitting on the art of bars and lyricism, the cornerstone that built this culture from day one.
Now, people were questioning who these sources of Justin Tinsley were. He said, I wouldn't write it if I didn't get the information from those close to the Rogers Center. If it ultimately is proven to be inaccurate, then I will cross that bridge when it gets here. That's what journalists do. But I trust my sources highly. Now, I don't think this is a far-fetched story at all. I think people on a certain side of things don't want it to be true, because if that is the case, then said person or said camp failed to get it done, so it makes...
Let's call it what it is. Young Thug doesn't care about penmanship, storytelling, or lyrical craft. He's pushing a vision where illiterate rap runs the game, and that's dangerous for the culture. But this also puts pressure on J. Cole. While nobody knows if Cole and Kendrick will ever truly reconcile, Cole still carries the weight of being one of hip-hop's gatekeepers. If there was ever a time for him to step up, to use his pen to defend the art form he represents, the time is now. Fans expect it. Hip-hop needs it. Still, at the very top level, the one figure we all know won't fold is Kendrick Lamar. Look at what's happening. Kendrick's presence alone has rappers trembling. A year ago, when he came out rocking those black Air Forces and shook the entire timeline, he sent a warning shot to the whole industry. And now, those words still echo louder than ever, haunting every corner of rap. So let's take stock. Where does the opposition to Kendrick stand right now? Future and Metro Boomin? Vanished. Silent. No vocal response, no smoke. They've chosen to disappear instead of stepping into the fire. And then there's 21 Savage, who, despite being solid with Drake, hasn't exactly come forward swinging. The so-called resistance against Kendrick is shrinking fast. Side quest time. Drake's acting like a cupcake, Lil Baby won't even answer the phone, and Young Thug is stumbling around like we've all seen before. Put it together, and what they're trying to pull off looks pitiful. Thug's new record feels like the exact opposite of Kendrick Lamar's party track. Kendrick's music shook the entire culture, while this, it just screams desperation. A group of fading artists clinging to relevance, trying to convince themselves the party isn't over when everyone else knows it's already dead. And then Thug makes it worse by doubling down with wild shots. He calls Baby Keem trash, claims Keem has no motion, and even says Kendrick is weird for making rap music for actual rap fans instead of chasing clout. On top of that, he's refusing to work with names like Wham and Moneybagg Yo, basically alienating anyone outside of Drake's orbit. It's messy, it's desperate, and it makes the whole alliance look like a sinking ship. At the center of it all, Thug has bowed down to one man, Drake, the guy they always thought had everything under control, but who now looks like he's holding nothing but L's. Drake's career is unraveling in real time, and anyone tying themselves to him is only signing up for failure.
Why are you here? Why are you here?
I'm here to prove that hometown Drizzy Drake champion Poppy 6 got the GOAT. Hey, Kendrick ain't coming to my city. Kendrick coming to our city and doing this. You can't.
Are you from Toronto? Are you from Toronto or no? If you're from Toronto, you know what Drake has done for the city. Drake has put on the city more than Kendrick's ever done anything for Compton, his entire life. That's how Drake works.
And speaking of failure, all we can really do now is wait for Thug's album to drop. That project is their next big swing. Their attempt to keep this sad little party alive and stop the movement Kendrick Lamar has already flipped the entire culture with. But let's be honest, we know how this ends. It's another L waiting to happen. Meanwhile, Kendrick is locked in. He's gearing up for tour, staying razor sharp, and probably stacking material that'll send the whole industry shaking again. Whatever tricks Drake and Thug think they can pull, Kendrick's already 10 steps ahead. He's told us in the music exactly how this would play out. And sure enough, here it is. The collapse is happening right on schedule. Let's keep it real. Drake and Young Thug might think they've cooked up some grand plan, but whatever music they've got coming isn't about to take over the industry. Not even close. Kendrick Lamar isn't fazed in the slightest, because the truth is, the culture has already shifted. The so-called party Drake and Thug are clinging to has been dying for years, and the recycled vibes they keep copying and pasting just don't work anymore. The people are done with it. So when Kendrick declared the party is over, he wasn't just throwing out a catchy line. He was predicting this exact moment. And what makes it even more powerful is that this isn't about music anymore. It's about image, survival, and legacy. Drake, Thug, and the handful of rappers scrambling to stand beside them are facing a hard truth. They're no longer the man. Their waves have crashed. Their spot as chart toppers is finished. And deep down, they know it. This is why the desperation is so loud. It's less about dropping hits and more about trying to convince fans and themselves that they're still relevant. But the reality is brutal. These last-ditch alliances won't save their careers because no apology track, no surprise collab, and no fake unity can turn back time once the culture moves on. And that's exactly what Kendrick meant when he said the party ended. It wasn't just a metaphor, it was a warning. The end of an era is here, and the realization is already hitting everyone involved. Now, with all that said, what do you think about Young Thug and Drake's strange alliance? Their weak attempt to push back against Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and even Andre 3000? Drop your thoughts below. This story is only getting messier. 3,000 people riding with this circus. It's honestly disgusting. And once again, channel memberships are now live, and I've got some major stuff lined up for those of you who want to support on a bigger level. You can join right now through the link in the description. It helps the channel more than you know. If you made it this far into the video and still haven't done it yet, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video. Every bit of support keeps the fire burning and makes sure these stories keep getting exposed the way they should. And if you're ready for even more drama, you've got to see what I found out before this. Drake doing something really bad that nobody is talking about, all while Lil Baby announced he's retiring from rap. That bombshell is going to flip the whole game and tie directly into everything we just broke down here. Check out the suggested video, and I'll see you on the next one.